But boys, we're here now. We got the overlay pulled up. We're looking glitchy. We're going to do a little quick intro here. I'm going to introduce all you guys and how I kind of came to know you. And if I forgot how I came to know you, then I'll just say some nice things about you. And then we'll get into the topics for the evening here. But first and foremost, we got my man Dude in the top left-hand corner over there. Dude's a guy that I've known from the band community for a long time. Did a lot of streaming. He's a Bears fan. I don't hold it against him. Played a lot of Madden, a lot of MLB The Show. We actually collaborated, guys. If you go onto my YouTube channel, !YouTube in the chat, or YT, my first video on my YouTube channel that I did not delete because I deleted a whole bunch of crap. But my first video ever was with Dude, actually. And I was trying to pull up your logo, Dude, but I could not find the original file. I lost it somewhere along the way. So I put a beautiful picture of you and your golden doodle. Dude, how are you doing today, my guy?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you having me on. It's good to be back.
Of course.
Have the old camera.
Yeah. Any anxiety getting back on the camera for the first time in a while?
No, I have to do this for work every day, so it's definitely not unfamiliar territory, but
beautiful.
Definitely feels good to be back on the old Twitch streets.
Let's go.
It's took about a 6-month break there. It seemed like to focus on work and some home renovations. So, but yeah, good to be back, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, of course, dude. I appreciate it, man. Always great to sit down and talk with you. We got my guy, Filthiest Canadian, on the top right over there. Filthiest Canadian is a guy that I met through Ragusa's chat, actually. And we from one dirty nightman to another now. We got the Canadian, representing Canada over here. Filthiest Canadian, man. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast. I'm glad that you were able to figure out the whole Discord thing. Is this truly your first ever video Discord call? Is that a fact?
This is a absolute fact. I'm humbled to be invited to be here with y'all. And at 51 and a half years old, this technology thing is a lot different than my first video game in television.
In television? It's like smell-o-vision. I love it.
Exactly.
What kind of console were you playing this retro game where literally it's like painted pictures on there? What kind of console would you be rocking that game on? Was that Madden, or what's that game called?
It was manufactured by Mattel, and it was called Intellivision, and it had controllers with like the old spirally phone cords.
Jeez.
And when you raged, you would grab that controller, and I would wrap it around my brother's, not his throat, because that would be dangerous, right? But around his head. And and then you take the rest of the controller and you just beat him with it.
I love it. That's fantastic. We're only roughly 2 minutes into the podcast. We've already gotten into BDSM talk over here. This is fantastic. There goes the family friendly portion of the stream, guys. We're into the mix now. But going down to the bottom of the screen, we got my guy K Harry. I was blessed to be on his trivia show the other night. Had a blast hanging out in his Discord with a bunch of other great content creators. And a couple shirtless teenagers as well. K Harry, man,
you're gonna be in trouble, man. You're gonna be in trouble, Jesus,
bro. This might be a conflict of interest with my teaching career, but it's always nice to sit down. And guys, little story about K Harry here, and I was gonna bring it up in the Discord earlier, but me and K Harry actually collaborated for kind of what I did with Dude. We did a diamond duel, and K Harry did a great job, recorded his entire half of it, did all that good stuff, sent me over his logos. We were good to go, and then in some rare form, I forgot to record mine, and I had already deleted my VOD, and I couldn't rip it off of there. So with that video never came out. So we might have to do a re-up on that if you'll ever collaborate with me again. But I mean, being on here tonight, I think we are going to collaborate again, hopefully. But K Harry, thanks so much for being on here, man. I appreciate it.
No, my pleasure, man. And I'm glad Luch is in chat. Luch, don't duck comp in MLB, bro. I want in that league. Talk to me. I'll pay whatever to get into.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, how about this? Let's make it a free league, a free fun community league for everybody else, and then K Harry's got to pay like $250 to get a spot in there because we're not looking to get a World Series level MLB player in here. Like, come on, Luch, don't do it, okay? Just don't do it. Hey, typical Murph, ghosting people. We got some people in the chat right now. We got Dabs Trophy in the building. We got Mutality and Luch. We got a couple purple check marks in the building. I'm a little bit star-studded and flustered right now by these gentlemen, but I appreciate you guys coming through, as always. There's no way I'd ghost anybody in here. You guys know me. And then we got the best for last, potentially. Maybe, okay, let's just say that we went... No, we didn't go oldest to youngest either, but we got RowdyTime, a frequent guest on the Murphy D podcast circuit. Rowdy, how are you doing today, man? Appreciate you coming through.
We're big chilling. You know what it is. Lakers in 4. We might possibly only win 4 games at the end of the season, but it's good. LeBron, Daddy James is averaging like 37 points, 38, something like that. He averaging something like that out here. At like 37, 38 years old, he's averaging like 28, 29 points per game, leading the league in scoring. Your favorite player could never, and that's why he is. That's why he is the GOAT. Michael Jordan could never.
Oh my God!
So
Okay,
I'm gonna just drop the mic on that.
Yeah, you don't need to drop the mic. I just cut your mic. Nobody can hear what you're saying for the rest of the podcast. You're just there to sit and look pretty. I noticed you got a couple dish rags hanging up on the wall behind your bed over there.
Oh yeah. What do you got hanging up, Canadian? Huh? You got nothing. Nothing. That's what I thought.
I got nothing.
Rowdy.
Yeah,
He's not alone.
That's right. We got multiple Canadians here, guys. You guys are outnumbered here. Actually, no, that's not true. We have 3 Americans and 2 Canadians. But hey, 2 Canadians is worth at least like 5 with the exchange rate. So we're good to go. Boys, appreciate you coming on here. We got an amazing panel. We're gonna get right into the sports talk, guys, and go fast and furious here. I'm thinking we start off. The whole theme of this is a free agency recap, or at least free agency up to this point, and I figured we'd do a little bit of MLB talk and a little bit of NFL talk here. Now, I don't know your guys' familiarity with both of the sports here. The qualification to be on here is definitely not to be an expert. I just want to hear what you guys think or what you guys have been hearing around the social media streets about all these moves. So I'm going to open up the first topic of the night here, guys. Give me a little home team rundown. Maybe this can be the MLB edition here. So if you do have a team that you root for, let me know who it is, and let me know, if there's any good moves that your team has made so far. Let's start off with Dude, and we'll go around the horn here. Dude, what team do you root for? I know you're a Bears fan.
My teams are hot trash, just to be completely transparent. But I am a Chicago Bears fan. I'm a Reds fan.
Let's go.
Pacers fan, and I'm a Indiana Hoosier as well. All teams did not do very well. Obviously, IU got crushed in the first round of the NCAA tournament, as a lot of you probably saw. But, with the Bears' moves so far, they traded Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
They have not made any big signings. I was a little happy with the Khalil Mack trade just due to the fact that the Chargers took on his salary. So definitely freed up, some money to make some moves, but then they didn't make any moves. So, I think our hottest signing has been Byron Pringle so far, which is not great.
Pringle, a man named after tubular chips. I've never heard of that player in my life. What position does Byron Pringle play?
Wide receiver.
Oh, dang. Okay.
He's like Chiefs like sixth in line probably. But
hey, you don't know Pringle, bro? He's one of those fast guys that the Chiefs drafted because that's all they do.
Bro, the only Pringle that I know in football is Mike Pringle, who was for a long time the CFL all-time leading rusher. Do you know Filthiest Canadian? This might be a good segue here. Filthiest Canadian, do you know, is Mike Pringle still the record holder for most rushing yards in the CFL? Or has that been eclipsed?
As far as I know, but I don't think anybody on Montreal has ever broken that or in the league, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and that's saying something too, because the CFL is definitely not a run-first league. It's very pass-heavy, only 3 downs.
It used to be when I was growing up.
Yeah, and things have changed a little bit since then. Filthiest, what about your actually let's go NFL first. Let's go NFL first, and then into baseball to end things off here. Filthiest, who's the football team that you root for, my guy?
You know what? Canada's team.
The Argos? Are you an Argos fan?
Come on, man. The Cowboys.
Oh boy, I was afraid of that. Okay.
Why does every Canadian cheer for the Cowboys? I don't understand.
That is not true. Everybody on the West Coast believes, like, oh my goodness, I'm a Seahawks fan. I'm number 12. Ooh, Seahawks.
Yeah.
Everybody on the East Side is like, ooh, Buffalo Bills. We're the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Everybody in the prairies, our feed is the Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. And, in the mid 70s, we had Tom Landry. He wore the top hat, wore the overcoat. I was just like, oh my Lord, look at this guy. He's screaming class, right? I became a Cowboys fan. Got blessed in the 90s. I can't lie, though. Dude, huge Bears fan. Sweetness, Jim McMahon, Super Bowl Shuffle.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta love him.
I was all about that as a fullback. Absolutely loved it. But we were blessed in the '90s as a Cowboys fan. I don't know if I'll ever see Cowboys first of all win another playoff game or make it to a division final or a Super Bowl. But yeah, Cowboys.
Yeah. Let's go, Cowboys. And have the Cowboys made any offseason moves? Like I'm trying to think. I haven't really heard too much about the Cowboys making a big splash in either free agency or trades. Anything that you're aware of that's popped up?
They got rid of Amari Cooper. They got rid of Gregory.
Yeah. So addition by
they
subtraction.
also lost the right tackle.
Who was the right tackle? Oh, was it Lael Collins? Is he the right tackle?
Yeah, they lost Collins. Yeah, they let go Collins.
Oh, there you go.
Gone.
So they got rid of
Cowboys
three Pro Bowl caliber players. Addition by subtraction, obviously I know the Cowboys spent a lot of money and they brought a lot of money onto the team in previous years. So I guess it's kind of a retooling type year. But I mean, as long as they got Dak Prescott healthy and they still have playmakers on both sides of the ball. We saw what Diggs did last year on defense for them. Still in a weak division too. So I'd say, and no offense, K. Harry, still in the NFC least. So you never know, man. You never know. Damn, we got all kinds of beef set up. We got an NFC North rivalry here. We got the NFC East rivalry taking shape here. But one thing I will ask, Filthiest Canadian, don't bring up anything beyond Rowdy. What year were you born? Did you ever live in the '90s, sir?
No, I was born. I was born in 2001.
Bro, okay, so we can't talk about any. Yeah, imagine having a beard like that and only being like 23 years old or 21 years old.
I'm 20. I'm not even 21.
Jesus, my math is terrible, guys. The future is in poor hands with me as a math teacher. But
Isn't K. Harry? Like, how old is K. Harry?
K. Harry's he's I believe 53. I think he's the oldest guy on the podcast right now. K. Harry, how old are you? And who's the team that you root for? I think we all know this already.
Yes. So I'm actually 24. I know I look great for my age.
Oh, K. Harry's old as hell. Never mind.
Yeah,
He's an old ass
I'm a
man.
big Phillies fan, big Eagles fan. I'm definitely a stat nerd for sure, and I watch a lot of games. So I feel very prepared and knowledgeable for these kind of topics.
Let's go.
Think the Phillies had a great offseason. Think the Eagles have had a good offseason. So happy to discuss going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of the moves that the Phillies not the Phillies, sorry. Let's start off with the Eagles. What have the Eagles done to improve their team this offseason?
Yeah, so we got Hassan Reddick, who is top 5 in sacks the last 2 seasons from Carolina. I think that's a great signing.
Yeah.
I think who's it, Jennifer Slay, who's Darius Slay's wife, is currently talking to Stephon Gilmore's wife, and we're trying to get Gilmore in Philly,
dang.
which would be awesome. We got Zach Pascal, who would be a nice little third receiver for us. And we got Derek Barnett back, who I think he's terrible, but
Yeah.
it's pass rush depth nonetheless. So I'm good with the Eagles offseason so far. Definitely think we could use some more. Re-sign Anthony Harris as well, who's like an above-average safety.
Yeah.
Definitely happy, but I think the offseason is definitely not finished. We still got some holes here.
Yeah, still plenty of time before preseason starts and all those players report to camp. So definitely, as down bad as our teams might seem at this point, still room for optimism, I think, at this point. But appreciate you, K. Harry. Anthony Harris too, former Minnesota Viking. He had a really good 2-season stretch for the Vikings, and then we didn't re-sign him. And it sounds like he's about league average right now. He was pretty elite though for a couple of years when nobody knew about him. Now, Rowdy time. Let's get over to the Skip Bayless of the Sports Accelerator program. Rowdy, what football team do you root for, sir? We can see the dish rags you have hung up in the background there. We know you're a Lakers fan. What about in the NFL side of things? Who are you rooting for?
Lifelong Broncos fan. Used to be a Seattle Seahawks fan, but there was a guy that used to be here that was traded to the Broncos. So me, lifelong Broncos fan. So glad we finally got our franchise quarterback in Russell Wilson. It's just great overall. Just great signings all across the board. Got Gregory after the Cowboys absolutely fumbled negotiations with him. Great receiving core. We gave up some stuff, but I'm really, as a lifelong Broncos fan, I've never watched a single Broncos game, maybe for like 2. But as a lifelong Broncos fan nowadays, because Wilson's on the team, really loving what the team did this past year. Ready to go win us another Super Bowl. I'm ready for the upcoming season, man. So really, really great times over here.
Well, I already hate the direction that this podcast is going in here. People jumping ship, going over to Broncos Nation. Appreciate the gifted subs from Mecha Monster and Molly McNuggets, the power couple on Twitch. You guys are amazing. But honestly, the Broncos, if you are indeed throwing all of your eggs in one basket here, Broncos probably one of the most improved teams this year. I mean, they did give up Noah Fant, who's a promising young tight end, but honestly, I think a quarterback makes all the players around him better. They'll be able to find somebody to fill that void. Definitely a lot of excitement in Broncos Nation, and I don't blame you for jumping ship on the Seahawks either. They're definitely in a big-time rebuild mode. Kind of the first time we've seen a full rebuild in the Pete Carroll era, so it'll be interesting to see how long they kind of stay around the bottom of the NFL, or if they're able to right the ship and make some retools and get better soon. But boys, appreciate you giving me the home team rundown here, and I'm thinking maybe we'll lead off with some of the NFL moves that have been announced in the last couple of weeks. So I'm focusing a lot on free agency, but a couple trades will obviously come up as well. The first one that I want to talk about, and this one kind of took me a bit by surprise. Von Miller to the Bills. I think the terms were 6 years, $120 million. Dude, what do you think of Von Miller's contract and him going over to play for Canada's real team, the Buffalo Bills?
I like the move for him. He's obviously late in his career, so he's wants another ring, obviously. So he's trying to find a contender, and the Bills were almost there. They were overtime possession away. And I think the contract is actually a W.
Yeah.
So, I think it's initially just like 3 years, 51 mil, for a veteran pass rusher. I think it's a good move. I think they need pass rushing, especially in that division, and being in the AFC. There's a lot of great quarterbacks in the AFC. So you got to have somebody that's going to be, breathing down their necks, and having to play Mac Jones a couple times a year. And now having to play the Miami Dolphins offense, you need some pass rushing to help, win that division. And so I like the move. I like the signing for them. I thought it was a good fit. I hope he does well. I'm a big Von Miller fan. I was happy for him to get another ring last year and be in a better position for himself. So I like the move.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and you broke it down nicely, the fact that the 3 years, there's an opt-out, I believe, after the first 3 years. So when I initially saw that, I was like, there's got to be an opt-out attached to this. There's no way. I would literally bet my entire house that there's no way that he makes that entire 6 years, $120 million. But I mean, I'm not going to put anything in writing, though, because, you never know, I guess. He could outperform his contract. Who knows?
Yeah.
And
I was just going to...
Yeah, go for it, dude.
I was just going to add in, I kind of thought the same thing. Like, when I saw 6 years, I'm like, my goodness, this guy's 33 years old. He's going to be 39. You don't see many defensive linemen 39 years old with, making that kind of money. But after that, kind of that contract details kind of came out, I was like, okay, now I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of thought that he might have been already like 36, 37. I thought he was a little bit older than he was, so that I was really boggled. I was like, there's no way this guy plays into his 40s, but I guess 33 is the new 37. Filthiest Canadian, what do you think about Von Miller going to the Bills? Do you think it's a good move for both parties? Do you think it's enough to get them past, say, the Chiefs if they end up matching up again in the playoffs next year? What are your thoughts on the deal?
Well, first thing we gotta announce, here's the breaking news. EA Sports just announced the limited for ULs tomorrow is Air McNair.
Steve McNair getting a card. Oh, dang, because I saw they had announced, who do they have? They have the tight end, and then I can't remember, Ozzie Newsome, I think, is getting a card, and then
right.
Who's the other one? It was the safety from the Chiefs and the Texans. Pollard, I think, is getting a UL as well.
Right,
So
Bernard Pollard.
Air McNair, is he a 99? Have you seen the...
Yes, his stats are looking kind of insane, to be honest with you. He's going to have 94 speed, 94 power. It's you throw some escape artists on him, it's going to be dirty.
Oh, it's going to be nasty.
Hold on. He's got built-in gunslinger. You can get escape and gunslinger on this card. This card's insane. Oh, my God.
Holy cow. That's why. Will it take your entire AP stack to get them? But that's wild. Yeah, man. And
this
the
card
AP,
looks crazy.
This card was built for the new AP update, actually. But Filthiest, what do you think? What do you think about Von Miller? Like, do you think he's enough to get them past like the Chiefs and kind of? I mean, the Chiefs have obviously had some big subtractions, and we will get around to the Tyreek talk later on in the podcast. But what are your thoughts on the deal?
I don't think he personally has the legs. I think the move of bringing Miller over was more of locker room and leadership, teach the young guys, coach the young guys, and he's going to contribute, but I just don't think he has the legs in him for a full season. He can stay healthy for a full season and do a long run. I think he's going to provide more leadership than what he's going to do on the field.
Yeah, and do you think that potentially, like, even with the opt-out after the third season, do you think that potentially even that first 3 years could end up, 1 or 2 years down the road looking like a bad deal for the Bills, even if they waive him after the first 3 years are done? Or do you think they're going to get their value out of that first half of the contract?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, Filthiest, my bad. Yeah, what do you think? Sorry about that.
Oh, my apologies. They're going to get the value in any way you look at it. Like, Bills are an up and coming franchise. They have an incredible fan base. They obviously shown that they're one stop away on defense from getting a ring. So I think he's going to bring a lot of excitement. I think his ROI or return on investment is going to be done after the first year. Yeah. What he brings to the locker room at 33 years old, you just can't teach, and you can't put a dollar amount on it. He's a clean guy. He's respected in the league, and he brings a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right about that. I think, leadership is something that is kind of intangible. You don't see it on the stat sheet, but definitely could be good. And they do have a lot of, talented rushers down there on that team that could kind of take it to the next level with his guidance. I was going to VIP that guy in the chat, actually, dude, if you wouldn't mind VIPing my guy. But K. Harry, what about you? What are your thoughts on the Von Miller to the Bills deal?
Yeah, there's a few things that are interesting with this deal, right? Von Miller was on one of the best D lines probably of all time last year, and now he's going to be by himself. Yeah. Ed Oliver's like fine, but nobody's like a superstar on that team. So Von Miller had a lot of one-on-one opportunities, not exactly like double teamed and worried about like he might have been in LA. So it's an interesting move. It's really expensive. Von Miller is obviously a very good football player, but the dynamics of how they're going to game plan for the Bills are definitely different than how they are for the Rams. He's going to get a lot more double teams, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Like anytime you go from having Aaron Donald as a line mate who'll get double, triple teamed, it's very possible that it's gonna be a different look for sure. But I do think he'll get some sacks. I don't know if he'll be. I'd say already his prime of his career is over at this point, but doesn't mean that he doesn't still have value to a football team. And
absolutely.
Absolutely. And RowdyTime, what about your thoughts on this deal, my friend? What are your thoughts on Von Miller to the Bills?
It's a W move for the Bills. The Bills did exactly what I said they need to do. I said they've got the pieces. I said they just need a star pass rusher. I said they need an all-pro pass rusher. What'd they go out and do this past offseason? They got a Pro Bowl, pass rusher.
Yep.
I think it's great. Like the deal, like everyone freaked out at first, but I'm like, I don't freak out at deals honestly anymore. Like unless it's like big guaranteed money, because you can always restructure once you get down to like the next year or whatever like that. So like teams can just, that's the interesting part about NFL contracts that like no other team can really do is that you can restructure the contract. So unless it's guaranteed money, that's the only thing that really ever hurts a team is when they get like the Deshaun Watson contract that's like fully guaranteed pretty much.
That's
like,
kind of wild.
That kills you because there's no really way to restructure that, I think, because when it's guaranteed money, it's more difficult. So
for sure.
The Von Miller contract is a W. Like I said this. I said even if they were to actually have let's say the contract was actually $160 million and there was no restructuring. I said all it takes is one Super Bowl in Buffalo, and I don't think a single Buffalo Bills fan or anyone in that Buffalo organization would ever care. Do you know why? Because these people went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost all 4. Okay? Yeah. I don't think they really care at this point. Whatever it takes, it takes. If they got to kick their grandma in the face to win a Super Bowl, I think Buffalo Bills fans would honestly take that deal. If you looked them dead in the face and said, you kick your grandma in the face, but you win a Super Bowl, grandma's getting the meanest, meanest roundhouse kick you'll ever see in your life. Okay?
Oh, man.
So it's a W. It's a W. They're going to look. And if Von Miller wins a Super Bowl in Buffalo, he will have won a Super Bowl in every single team he's ever been on. The Broncos won a Super Bowl with. and he was a Super Bowl MVP, and he led Peyton Manning to a Super Bowl.
That is true. Yeah.
Then he won it on the Rams. I said if he wins one on the Bills, he's a top 5 defensive player of all time.
Wow. You know what? It's funny like that. I wouldn't necessarily put him in the conversation just off the top of my head, but when you think about it, didn't he win the Super Bowl MVP that year? Because Peyton was just throwing up dead ducks.
Yeah. He literally led one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time to a Super Bowl victory.
Yeah, like it is kind of wild when you think about it. There's very few players who have the impact to even win a Super Bowl MVP. You know, so that alone kind of puts him in pretty rare company. So definitely a good take there, I think, or at least it's a rowdy take. Okay, we won't say whether it's good or bad. It's a rowdy take.
Oh, that's a crazy take, man. That's a crazy take.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not a crazy take.
It's a crazy take.
How many players do you know of? Okay, if he was a Super Bowl in Buffalo, how many defensive players do you know of have went to 3 separate teams and pretty much been a very large piece to why they won all 3?
K. Harry right now is Googling practice squad players who have signed on and won. Yeah,
didn't Richard Seymour win 3 Super Bowls
with 3 different squads? I wonder.
No,
not
3.
Yeah, I'm talking about 3 different squads. You can find me one defensive player that's went to 3 different teams and won a Super Bowl. All right, I'll put him in the conversation.
I mean, that's cool and all, but the Bills have so much room to work on defense, though. Their linebackers aren't that good. They have 1 pass rusher out of 4. They still got.
And yet, what did they do against? And yet, what have they done with? You don't understand. The Bills don't need stars. All they needed was 1 star. That's all they've needed. Their safeties are fine. Okay, linebackers.
One star was not going to stop Mahomes. They needed 3.
Yes, it was. Oh well, they ain't got to worry about Mahomes now.
They got 45 points to them, bro. Their defense isn't good at all.
What do you mean? And how many points did they score on the Chiefs? But you're not talking about the Chiefs being trash. What? Hold on. No. We can't be talking about this now. I'm just saying, if you're going to talk about them giving up 45, how many points did the Chiefs give up? The Chiefs are washed on defense. The Chiefs are hot trash.
This isn't about the Chiefs. I don't think they're a favorite at all in the AFC. The Bills need a lot of help. They got to draft like these crazy linebackers.
Nah, Bills only needed 1 star pass rusher, and they got it. They're chilling. They almost beat the Chiefs without their star cornerback.
Are you
just double that side? That's it.
Are you boys done? Come on, boys. I mean, let's have a little bit of civility here. This is a Canadian podcast. We don't get after each other's throats here. We have to respect the around the horn nature of this. All right. There's no crosstalk. There's no intrigue here. We're not here to make an entertaining thing. We're here to follow the order. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love it, man. Feel free to chime in and crap on each other's takes. I love it. I think it makes for a good podcast, and definitely want to hear both sides of each one of these deals that we talk about here. But damn, that's the first topic of the night, and we've already got tempers flaring. I love it. Let's talk now about. Okay, I had to throw this in there because the Vikings made a little bit of a splash. All right, Zadarius Smith leaving the Packers, going to a division rival in the Minnesota Vikings. Let's go up to Dude here with this one. What do you think about the deal? Zadarius Smith missed a lot of time with injury last year. I think he barely played like a snap last year. Do you think it's a good signing for the Vikings? Do you think it's a good fit for the Vikings defense, or no?
I'll just say this: I hope he does terrible. But But, he's, I think, 29, 30-ish range. And the injuries do kind of scare you a little bit. I think he's a very talented player. I believe the new defensive scheme that they're probably going to run is 3-4.
Yeah, that's the thing I like about it the most is if we're finally switching to a 3-4. That's exciting to me.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of experience in the 3-4 being in Green Bay. And I think they have some good linebackers around him. I know it's relatively cheaper than what you see with pass rushers, but I think just the injuries scare me a little bit for what they're spending. I know they offered him a little bit more than the Ravens, and that's kind of why he took that deal. Plus, I think being in the same division as the Packers would probably encourage that a little bit as well. But I think it could work. It's just if he can stay healthy. I think it's the biggest piece.
Absolutely. I think that's a good take. And I like what you brought up there, that potentially being able to face his former team twice a year. We kind of take for granted how much of a motivating factor that is for a lot of players. And what is it about? We could have a whole talk about the culture of Green Bay here, because there's no Packers fans in the panel. Brett Favre wanted to come back and play in his own division. Like a lot of these Packers guys, they want to give it to the organization that paid them for years. So I'm not going to say that the Packers are a trash organization, but maybe I'll leave it unsaid and let chat fill in the blank on that one. I like where your mind is. That's dude's words. That's not mine. All right. Next guest.
I'll say it.
Let's go. Packers are the bad guys. It's the evil empire, man. For us,
it is. It's the dark side.
Absolutely.
The Packers got a history of winning, honestly, more than most teams in the NFL. Just because somebody wants to leave, they treat them like shit. There's like a difference there, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Favre won so many fucking things in his career. He won one. Obviously, he only won one Super Bowl. But still, it's not like he's not like dodging the Packers.
Yeah,
he's fine.
Yeah,
they didn't want him anymore. It's just because of Rodgers. That's a crazy take by Murphy as always.
Of course, I would expect nothing less. From these podcasts, we like to just pull stuff out of our asses essentially and throw it out there and let chat decide what they think about it. But filthiest Canadian, what do you think about Zadarius Smith picking up an outside linebacker, a good edge rusher, and adding him to this Vikings team? I'm not going to say we have a great defense. We did for a while, but that kind of seemed to fade pretty quickly. Thoughts on this deal?
Well, if you can go back to his form from 3 years ago, back-to-back Pro Bowls, I think it's a dub. But coming off of a back injury is huge. Spasms are one thing. coming off of the knife is another thing. If he can stay healthy, I think it's a huge dub for the Viking organization. But realistically, they should have probably given him a physical. He's young, but honestly, anybody who starts getting injuries so young, though, he's what, 7-8 years in the league?
Yeah, body's starting to break down.
Yeah, that's my concern. But nothing but the best for the Vikings. He's a producer. Back-to-back Pro Bowls in 2019-20?
Yeah.
So if he can get back to that form, that's a huge dub.
Absolutely, and the one thing I'm excited to see about this particular deal is, Danielle Hunter, who is a really exciting player. He's basically missed 2 years in a row, like his age 24, 25 seasons, and I really thought that he was on pace to be something special. I want to see him. I could see Danielle Hunter now move into an outside linebacker, like a rush position out of the 3-4. So we signed Yannick Ngakoue. If that's even how you say his name, and they never got to play together. They've signed these elite edge rushers, and they've never really given them the chance to actually play with Danielle Hunter. So I'm just praying that he gets healthy, and I get to see two elite guys on either side, and give the NFC North quarterbacks all they can handle. K. Harry, what are your thoughts on Zadarius Smith? Good deal, bad deal, difference maker, or no difference really?
No, this is what I'm talking about, pass rush, right? Teams win on pass rush, and the Vikings now have two super good pass rushers, like Danielle Hunter, Zadarius Smith, two probably top 10 to 15 pass rushers. They're really good. I think that's a really nice addition to them. And by the way, since I'm arguing in chat, you can't say the best defense in football when you go 45 in a playoff game. Who gives a shit about the regular season? You think those guys care about the regular season stats? How they're the best defense in football? They played the Dolphins, who suck. They play the Jets, who suck. And they play fucking Mac Jones, who can't throw a ball more than 10 yards.
Macaroni Jones.
They're going to have good stats as a defense when they play those dudes twice a year.
Yeah,
that's so stupid.
Yeah, probably the worst, or at least the most down bad division in football right now. Given a challenge to the NFC least, actually. Although, honestly,
the Eagles have a ring, by the way, in the last 4 years. So, good talk.
Yeah, that is true. Nick Foles, works miracles, man. He really is a miracle worker.
Selling your soul to the devil for a Super Bowl doesn't count, bro.
That's fine, bro. That's fine.
Meanwhile,
we all know there was witchcraft involved in that, bro. Nick Foles met the devil in the back alley somewhere in Philadelphia, grabbed the Philly cheesesteak with him, and said, "I will sell the rest of my career to you for one Super Bowl."
He should be starting for the Bears, honestly. I don't know how he's not starting.
Yeah,
what did you just say over Justin Fields?
He should be starting for the Bears. He's a winner.
Yeah, and that's why Philadelphia is back to a poverty franchise.
Oh,
We're
boy.
just not, though. We're just not. We're the most young, exciting teams in football right now. I'm not mad.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts, who could throw a football maybe 10 yards if he's lucky.
You've never seen him play then. If you want me to pull up Jalen Hurts throws and highlights?
Oh, boy. Yeah, send him a DM. Drop it in the Discord. Filthiest, you want to chime in on this, too?
Go ahead. I will.
I see Filthiest
Fly,
is jumping
barn
the bit.
sparrows, fly. That's all I gotta say. Enjoy your one ring. One? How many?
I will.
One?
I will.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Bro, Cowboys fans have literally been poverty for 30 years. They have no
At least we got 5. At least we got 5.
I haven't been alive for any of them, honestly.
What team in the NFL leads the league in?
Xerxes gonna have a child who will not see a Cowboys Super Bowl ring. It doesn't even matter.
Man, I'm loving this so far, and I gotta say we've already gone from RowdyTime saying that witchcraft negates a Super Bowl win, but also that kicking your grandmother in the face to get a Super Bowl is okay. So we've already seen both sides here. We've already seen.
I didn't say it was okay. I'm just saying that
Crazy.
Buffalo fans. Look, if you ask Yimmy, right? Yimmy, if you the Bills will win a Super Bowl if all you have to do is roundhouse kick a grandma in the face.
Oh, just one grandma, not yours. Okay, that's fine.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have. I mean, well, like if your grandma's alive, it has to be your grandma. Or you can choose like you can just pull grandma out of the retirement home and roundhouse kick them. But like
Wow.
I guarantee
This
you
is good.
that grandma's probably a Buffalo fan, and even she's gonna be like, kick me in the face. I want you to hit me with the meanest roundhouse kick of all time. If I pass away, at least it was in Bills glory. Because Buffalo Bills fans are built like that, okay? They'll go through flaming tables. Like it doesn't matter. Also, look at K. Harry dropping Jalen Hurts, full season highlights, NFL 2021. Yeah, you got any highlights from that Bucs game where he got absolutely murdered? I didn't think so, okay?
Oh man.
We made the playoffs, unlike many of the people up here. So
Congratulations, bro! You made the playoffs. Did you win anything in the playoffs? I didn't think so. You're the same equivalent. You're the equivalent of the teams that didn't make the playoffs, bro. You won nothing. Congratulations.
We were projected to win. We were projected to win.
That's the
4
problem.
games
That's
this
what
season.
our generation, K. Harry.
No,
We're built up participation trophies, okay? It doesn't matter that you made the playoffs. You didn't win anything.
Oh my God.
Listen.
Yeah, okay, give K. Harry the floor.
We were projected to win 4 games this season, and we won 9. I feel like that's pretty good. And Nick Sirianni could have won Coach of the Year just off of that stat alone.
Okay, and I was
Honestly,
projected to
we're
lose
fine,
50
bro.
pounds in the last 5 months, but I didn't do it. What does it matter?
Guys, you know what?
We improved as a franchise, unlike you as a person. Like, how else do you want to
Okay, all right. Yeah, you improved to nothing. You still have no wide receivers. Linebackers are hot trash. Fletcher Cox is on his last leg. He's over here limping. Your O-line is falling apart.
Our line is good, but that's keep going. Okay.
Your line is a retirement.
We were top 5 offensive line in football last year, and we only lost Brooks because he was out for the season.
I've got a drastic shift plan for this podcast here, and I'm thinking, we got to go around the horn here. The idea is to share opinions on each of these topics here. What do you guys think about? And RowdyTime and K. Harry, I'm asking you here. What do you think about just cutting Rowdy's spot and literally just having him react to K. Harry's take at the end of each of these rounds?
as long as I get a say, go ahead. He's just making shit up. Honestly, it's not even like educational.
So, Rowdy, how do you feel about being the reaction guy here and trying to refute everything that K. Harry says for the rest of the night? Is this something that would appeal to you? You can still chime in.
Listen, I speak nothing but facts. So I mean, listen,
it is not facts at all.
But it is facts though.
Eagles had top 5 O-line last year.
You did listen. How injured does your O-line normally get? Almost every year, but that's been the problem with Philadelphia. You had Jason Peters, you finally got rid of, who was literally, I don't even know how he's still walking. Like, to be honest with you,
that's why we got rid of him. He plays for the Bears.
Okay, yeah, Kelsey's leaving probably after this year, so you're gonna lose Kelsey, right?
We're good, bro. That's why
you lose Kelsey. Brooks is probably gonna retire. Lane Johnson
Brooks did retire.
Didn't Lane Johnson get suspended for pumping some roids or something like that?
That was 3 years ago. But keep going.
3 years ago?
Can I just read?
That's how long it's been since Philadelphia's been relevant.
I'm
Super Bowl. Yes, that makes sense.
I've got my mute button at the ready here. Chat Ron Bart in the chat says, "Guy that says this is facts. That guy has no facts." So, hey, I love this already.
I agree with him.
I love this already. This is one of the most intense podcasts I've ever been a part of so far. Luckily, we've got the voice of reason up top, and then we've got the self-proclaimed stat geek and K. Harry on the bottom, and then we've got the guy who, we got RowdyTime, and he's just, I don't know where he gets his information from. Yeah, we get the Stephen A, Colin Cowherd, Skip Bayless take. I think this is a winning formula, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and make him the designated reactor here. Do you want to chime in on the Zadarius Smith to Vikings, Rowdy? Good move, bad move? What do you think?
I think it's a good move, but the Vikings are still awful, and they're not going to win.
All right,
that
that's
division.
enough. We're gonna go on to dude now. Next,
I think the Vikings can win the division, but that's just me. But okay.
we're moving on to the next topic here. I've heard enough of that take. Reek to the Dolphins, guys. Something that kind of came out left field. I really did not see this coming. I had no idea that this was even in the works. Dude, what do you think about? First of all, Tyreek going to the Dolphins. Does he make their team contenders now? Even with Tua at quarterback, and what do you think it means for the Chiefs going forward as well, with Patrick Mahomes losing his main target?
I'm kind of with you. I was really, really shocked when I saw that. I did not think that Chiefs team would dismantle, especially, this early. I thought it might, just be free agencies. I didn't think they'd ever get traded like that. So I was really shocked. I think the Dolphins, do get a little better, obviously. They have a ton of speed. They've added a lot of speedy guys this offseason. Mostert, Chase Edmonds. I mean, they've already got Jalen Waddle, who's got some speed as well. So I mean, I think it's it adds some speed to the team that wasn't very explosive last year. I think Tua is the question, but obviously they brought in Teddy Bridgewater as a backup. I mean, I know Bridgewater's not amazing, but it's a decent backup to have and kind of a good fallback guy if Tua can't get it done. But I guess we'll find out. Tua's got the weapons, has got some weapons now. So I think it's either do or die. I think for him and his career. As far as the Chiefs, I think Juju is kind of like, oh shit. I think he went there to kind of. I thought it was going to be a good fit for Juju in that offense with Tyreek, kind of be a good second, third option for Mahomes. But now he's kind of the wide receiver one, him and McCole Hardman, and then you got Kelsey still. So I mean, I think the Chiefs will still be a solid team just with Mahomes and at quarterback. He's so good and can sling the damn ball. But I think the Dolphins giving up a ton of draft picks. But they still got 2 number 1 picks next year, and Tyreek Hill, which is a big W. So I would kind of honestly give the Dolphins the win on the trade at least. I know the Chiefs get a lot of picks in return. We don't know what they're going to do with them. They could obviously turn around and use them for trades or draft guys. So I mean, I guess it's still up in the air. But I was really shocked, but I do think the Dolphins kind of had the edge in that one.
Yeah, and I really think it kind of screams like mini rebuild. It's weird to see a team that was a Super Bowl champion not that long ago kind of have to retool. We knew the Chiefs threw a lot of money to bring back the entire Super Bowl team on offense and defense. This is kind of like I said, I don't think anybody thinks that the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs now without Tyreek Hill next year. If they do, it's only because the AFC is a really tough conference to win in. But yeah, it does kind of scream like little mini rebuild here, retooled. Patrick Mahomes is still going to be around for a long time, so they can kind of survive, I think, with the little rebuild. But again, the Dolphins basically have given Tua, no excuses now to come out. He's got weapons. He's got a good foundation around him. Now it's just up to him. Can he actually get the ball downfield to guys who can run really fast? I don't know if he can. We'll see. Filthiest, what do you think about this trade of Reek going, or not the trade, but the signing of Reek going to the Dolphins, or the trade, or whatever you want to call it?
I think it was personally career suicide for Tyreek. There's 3 organizations in the NFL that you just don't want to go to. You don't want to go to the Browns, you don't want to go to Miami, and you don't want to go to the Jets.
Yeah.
He ends up in Miami. It's going to be a huge dub for Miami if they can get him the ball.
Yeah.
Do they have an O-line now where a quarterback can actually get him the ball? I don't think so. So how are you going to utilize him? He's going to, put fans in the stands. The merchandise is going to fly off the roof. It's definitely going to hurt Mahomes. Everybody thinks about Tyreek about the deep ball. He's 104 speed, like he's the cheetah.
Yeah.
But realistically, he bailed out that Chiefs offense so many times on those quick hitch routes, those underneath slants where he made something happen with his quick feet. Mm-hmm. And now that Mahomes doesn't have that, I don't think Juju's the answer. I think Kelsey's going to take a beating. I think he's going to get hurt. I think Mahomes is going to get hurt. And obviously, I'm going to give the Dolphins a big dub on this.
Yeah, I think that's a good take too, and that's a good point that there's going to be a ripple effect with the other receiving options. Like Juju, like dude mentioned that he's kind of coming over, maybe looking to take a lesser role, get a bit out of the spotlight, and kind of work on his game and become a better player again, like he looked like in his rookie year. Kelsey's going to be targeted like crazy this year as the obvious go-to number one option. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects everybody. And again, Dolphins, the big unknown in this whole equation here. K. Harry, what about your thoughts on this one with Reek to the Dolphins?
Yeah, I really think both teams really benefited, honestly. I think, so somebody said Reek wasn't top 5. I do think he's top 5 receiver in football, just because he changes a defensive game plan, probably more like 95 to 99% of offensive players. I think if Reek, if he's in short field, he's still super good. Like obviously in Madden, he's somebody who flies down the field every single play, gets over top of deep thirds. But he's still he can get underneath, make plays with his legs, get those kind of screen passes, those quick little zigs and out routes. So I think it's big for the Dolphins, but I also think the Chiefs will be fine. Honestly, I think after this year they might struggle, they might take a step back a little bit. But with those 2 first-round picks in the future, then they can still rebuild their team out. But Mahomes might have to play a little bit differently, I will say. But, Reek just makes your offense so much easier for them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's kind of like that safety blanket. Like it just he provides so much, and like Filthiest Canadian mentioned too, like the broken plays. Like Mahomes is a great improviser, able to keep plays alive, and Reek's got the stamina and the quickness to kind of get open like in a play that's gone on for 10 seconds, way longer than it should. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Mahomes reacts. I do think Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the game, in my opinion, but it'll definitely be probably his most difficult year in the NFL going forward, for sure.
Right there.
Yeah, and RowdyTime, you actually get to comment on this one because you didn't chime in on K. Harry's take, so you can actually take a position at the table here.
I'm right. That's because I'm right. That's why I didn't chime in.
Now he's gonna now Rowdy, please provide us with the exact opposite of K. Harry's take. I'm just kidding. What do you think of this deal, Rowdy?
I think Tyreek is gonna do great on the Dolphins. I think, but I don't know if Tua is that guy. We'll see what happens. They've got an O-line. They did bring in Terran Armstead, which in my opinion is probably the best left tackle in football. So you've kind of addressed your O-line a little bit. And now you've got 2 of the fastest guys in the NFL, and Waddle and
and Reek.
Tyreek.
Fuller.
Will Fuller
Fuller's an free agent, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's
I
an
think
agent.
I did see him when I was looking on.
Because I heard talks about him possibly going to the Browns. So I don't know if that. They don't even really need him, to be honest. They're fine with just Waddle and Tyreek, and they can now kind of recreate what the Chiefs have, where they can do those underneath hitch routes and kind of just let their speed take over. And they've got Gesicki, who is a top tight end in the league. So they've got weapons over there.
And 2 new.
You just got to kind of. Yeah, you guys just got to kind of see what they can play. And they got Raheem Mostert. So, they've got all the speed over there in Miami. Yeah. It's going to be very dangerous. You just got to kind of see how Tua plays. The way Tua plays affects how this team plays, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Tua, but I think he can pull it out. I think they'll be really good. But that's going to be a tough division. I think the Bills still win it. As far as the Chiefs, dude, I think the Chiefs are not going to be what everyone thinks they're going to be. I think they're going to be fighting for 3rd place in their division.
Wow.
Listen, Patrick Mahomes is not going to be Mahomes without Tyreek anymore, because that now defenses don't have to push back 3 or 4 people just to, try to stop Tyreek. Now you can kind of just focus on Kelsey. Kelsey no longer doesn't get those one-on-one matchups. Kelsey's going to get double teamed. Who are you going to be worried about? Juju Smith-Schuster? Bro, I'm more worried about Juju making TikToks than I am him catching a football, to be honest. I'm not worried about that man, okay? No one's scared of Juju Smith-Schuster. That man hasn't been relevant or done anything good since Antonio Brown was his teammate, okay? Juju Smith-Schuster is not a number 1 option. He never has been, and he never will be. He's only a good number 2 option.
He won't be here either.
But who's going to be the number 1?
Yeah.
Kelsey, obviously.
Yeah, Kelsey, I guess.
Okay, we're talking receiver. I'm not talking tight end. You're talking wide receiver.
It's an offense.
But he's still. Juju still isn't doing anything. Like, no offense,
No,
but it's just
I think this is a great spot for Juju, man. I think as a
it would have been a great
receiver,
spot if Tyreek was there, but Tyreek's not there anymore. Juju's cooked, dude. He's not.
I still think it's good, man. I think Travis Kelce opens the middle of the field. Juju can still get open, and a guy like MVS can stretch the field. I think it actually makes a lot of sense for their offense.
I just don't.
Obviously,
I think
it's
they're
not
not.
Reek, but
That's what I'm saying. It's not Reek. I think their offense isn't going to change drastically, but I definitely don't think you're going to see the same Chiefs team that you've seen. It's not going to be even anywhere close. It actually helps teams so much when playing them now because you've got MVS and you've got to guard Juju and Kelsey. But listen, Juju and MVS ain't got speed like that. No offense, but they ain't.
MVS is really fast. MVS is really fast, actually.
I don't think. I mean, he's not Tyreek.
K Harry's pulling up 40 times right now. He's pulling up 40 times. Combine stats.
40 times. Yeah, bro. What are you gonna tell me next? I should be scared of John Ross this upcoming offseason because he's got one of the fastest 40-yard dashes. Yeah, what a 40-yard dash, bro.
He's good. He's a good player.
I'm not saying he's not a good player.
I know, but he was on a team that.
Listen, man, the Chiefs are cooked. They what are the Chiefs gonna do? Their defense is already trash. You lost your bailout option in Tyreek Hill. I mean, what are you gonna do now, bro? What you gonna put Jackson Mahomes out there, wide receiver, and hope he starts throwing some ass out on the field to distract somebody? Like, I mean, I don't know.
You just made my ring light fall off. You guys just broke my stream setup here with this intensity. I wasn't ready for it. I tried doing something different. I tried moving it a little bit, and that was clearly a mistake. I was like, oh, this is a little bit off-centered. I'm going to fix this up. Next thing you know, I just got freaking air-bombed by my stream setup here. Honestly, I think it's going to be a different year for the I think obviously we can't say that the Dolphins didn't get better. They clearly did. All they had to give up was draft picks and money. So the Dolphins definitely going to be better. I'm thinking it's how many hitches are we going to see in a game now from this offense? It's going to be insane. Like, it's going to be probably the most hitch-heavy offense, the most screen pass-heavy offense that we've ever seen, because I honestly don't think Tua has what it takes to throw the ball 40 yards down the field on a frozen rope. People will say he's like one of the top 5 most accurate quarterbacks, but yeah, he's also throwing the ball under 15 yards almost every single time. So, it'll be interesting.
Sounds like Mac Jones, actually.
Oh my God!
Don't hate on Mac Daddy Jones. Hold up.
He does the same thing.
No. Mac can air that thing out, bro. They just don't. Bill just don't like his quarterback to air it out. That's all it is.
I mean, we'll see, and that's another thing. We're going to talk a little bit about the J.C. Jackson move to the Chargers as well, but it's kind of a weird thing where. Like with a young quarterback, getting rid of the number 1 receiving target, another interesting thing that we can actually, you know what? Perfect segue. Thank you guys for bringing that up. The next, move that I wanted to talk about was the Chargers and the improvements that they made this offseason. Getting Khalil Mack, obviously, dude, can chime in on that one, and we'll lead off with him. But also adding J.C. Jackson as well, signing him to a big contract. So, dude, what do you think as a Bears fan who was able to watch Mack and maybe a little bit of disappointment? Like, what do you think Mac's tenure in the Bears was to you? Was it worth the draft pick haul that they gave up to get him? Like, how did he perform with the Bears, and how do you think he'll do with the Chargers?
Obviously, the last couple of years he had battled injuries, and he is getting up there in age. But I still think he was a very explosive player. It's not his fault that the offense just couldn't get things going. I mean, they had a solid defense for a few years there. Obviously, the year of the double doink. I know K. Harry probably can chime in on that.
Dude, you're a nice guy. I'll stay quiet. Don't worry.
But that was supposed to be the year of that we were going to make a run. But obviously with Trubisky and the quarterback struggles, it just wasn't really fair to Khalil Mack. I don't think that we won that trade at all for him. We gave up a ton of picks and took on a huge salary, and it was just. I wish if they were going to dump him, I wish they would have maybe done it a little earlier when they could have got a little bit more value. But, I think good for the Chargers. They have Bosa. They have brought in some more D-line. They're definitely hitting on the defense in LA. So, I think he'll fit in well. I think he'll get some, less double teams with having Bosa on the same team and some other strong D tackles. So I'm happy for him. I think I'll always kind of root for him because I was a big fan of his, but with them eating that contract from Chicago, I think that helps.
Yeah.
Ease the pain a little bit, but yeah, I wish we had those draft picks back for him all those years ago, but it is what it is.
Yeah. 100%.
As far as Chargers in general, bringing in JC, bringing in Khalil, and I even think Gerald Everett. I know he's not on there, but definitely like a solid tight end option for Herbert. I think they've done some good moves in LA and addressed all of their needs. I think that's kind of the biggest thing for them. So
yeah,
I think the moves that they've made are solid. Obviously, we'll see how they play out, and if Khalil can stay healthy, I think that's a big thing. But I think bringing in JC and a guy like Khalil Mack could really help them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Joey Bosa gets a little bit overshadowed with how good Nick Bosa was when he came into the league. I'd say Nick Bosa is still the prime Bosa brother as far as like defensive impactful guy, but it's kind of crazy to see like two guys who they could either play defensive end or outside linebacker, kind of the prototypical 3-4 edge rushers. They'll provide a scary pass rush. Herbert's already proven that he's a pretty damn good quarterback in the league at a young age. I think he's only going to get better, and giving him a legit target like JC could definitely be a difference maker. I think as a Chargers fan, you got to be feeling pretty good about this offseason so far. Filthiest, what are your thoughts on Khalil Mack and JC Jackson both going to the Chargers this offseason?
I honestly think it's a great time to be a fan in LA.
Mm-hmm.
They got the new stadium. They got Khalil Mack. Like, it's going to be electrifying. Like, that defense suits him. He's not going to be handcuffed like he was on the Bears. I'm sorry, dude. He was handcuffed on the Bears. He didn't have a green light to go every single play and do what he wanted. It's not where you want to go. Like, he just didn't have that green light. LA, there's going to be stars and celebrities and everybody else out there. You add Jackson to that mix. It's just a dub any way you look at it. Chargers are going to be out to go further than what they did last season. Yeah. I think it's an absolute great addition for both players.
Yeah, 100%. And it's interesting. Like the Chargers, seem to be like a team that's on the up and up. They do have like a veteran now in Khalil Mack, who's a great leader. It's funny to think like I'm pretty sure Khalil Mack went to like Niagara or like some small college too. Like it's crazy to see Buffalo. That's the one. That's right. Yeah, Buffalo. So it's like it's kind of crazy to see this guy who's become synonymous with like great defensive players. Obviously being a Pro Bowler at two different positions. Kind of crazy as well. He's carved out a nice little career. Hopefully he can return to form. I think it's fun. He's one of the players on defense that is actually really fun to watch when he's healthy and when he's firing on all cylinders. I remember, I think the first game. Maybe it might have been the first game that he got traded to the Bears, and it might have been against the Vikings, or at least maybe his first game against the Vikings. I swear he just absolutely took over that game and dominated the Vikings, like forced fumble, interception, like sacks. It was everything. He was doing it all. I'd love to see him be that kind of a difference maker again for the Chargers. And K. Harry, what do you think about these two additions to the Chargers, and where does it rank them in their division at this point?
Yeah, so I'll preface this because I actually acknowledge biases, unlike other people. I will say, since I have a personal relationship with somebody on the Chargers, I absolutely love these moves. I actually knew about one of the moves before it happened, and I couldn't say anything.
Damn.
So it's kind of cool to see it come out on Twitter.
The plug. That's wild.
Yeah. So very, very, very happy to go watch some Chargers games this year. They're really fun to watch. They were really good last year. They just really were. They had to finish games, and having a guy across from Joey Bosa, like I've been saying for the other two moves here, having a pass rush, having a good O-line, having a good quarterback, and having good weapons is what's going to win you games. And now the Chargers have all of that. They have no excuses anymore.
Yeah.
This is the year. If it's not going to happen, Staley's gone. People are gone. Obviously not Herbert, but they're going to, big changes are going to happen if they do not put it together this year. They're the favorites to win the division in my eyes. If they don't, then people are getting fired. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is kind of like, obviously it's weird to say like win or go home, like, win or blow it up because their quarterback is so young, like he's going to be around for a long time, but definitely has the feelings of if they don't go further this year than they did last year, I don't think everyone's saying, oh, they got to win the Super Bowl this year or it's a failure, but like if they don't make a deeper run and actually win a playoff game and turn some heads, I think it would definitely be looked at as a disappointment because they've really stocked up and put together a good roster on paper. RowdyTime, what are your thoughts on this? And maybe also you could chime in because we haven't talked about what's the impact of J.C. Jackson leaving New England. Is that going to have ripple effects for that offense? Mac Jones and his 10-yard throws that he's known for?
Well, I don't know why it would affect the offense when J.C. Jackson's not an offensive player.
Oh, damn. Is he? I thought he was the wide receiver. Am I crazy? Is he a cornerback?
Yeah,
oh my God,
Murph.
Jesus H Christ.
Jesus,
Okay,
oh
well
my
there you go.
God.
All right, boys, podcast is over. Big Cap, don't say anything in the chat. Don't even type. Don't even type.
And Murphy was just kicked out of the Sports Accelerated program.
Oh yeah, there you go.
No, like, all right, so Chargers, they've got all the stuff on paper. But the Chargers have had this for years now where they get an absolute loaded roster, preseason happens, and half the damn team gets hurt, and then they're just absolutely shambles. So, knock on wood, hopefully if they can stay healthy, they'll be fine. But that's been the Chargers' issue for years now. It's either Keenan Allen gets hurt or Derwin gets hurt or whoever it was. Even back in the days of Phillip Rivers and LT, somebody would get hurt on that team, and then they were just absolutely just not even anywhere close to what they could have been. So the Chargers can stay healthy for once. I think they'll be absolutely great. Do they win that division? I don't know. That division is so tough, man. It's honestly a toss-up to see who wins.
Yeah.
But as far as the Patriots, I think the Patriots will be fine. I think that defense will still be fine. Yeah, missing J.C. Jackson really hurts, but it's Bill Belichick. That man can take a defense that's a bag of chips and still, get by. So I think the Patriots will be fine. Yes, missing J.C. Jackson will be huge. But I think the Patriots will be fine. Mac Daddy Jones and them boys will be just okay.
They'll be in third. They'll be in third.
Yeah, no, they'll be okay. Yeah, all right. Listen, and your team's gonna be third in the division. So hush up over there,
No,
Mr.
we're just not. We're not. We're better. We actually gained this season instead of any of the teams in the division. I'm not too worried about that. Honestly.
Yeah, and then when you get cooked somehow by Carson Wentz, you're gonna be like, "How did this happen?" So
I mean, we're not losing to Carson Wentz. There's just no.
okay, whatever you say, man. Listen, I'm just saying. Rowdy's a Broncos fan. Oh, I am. Lifelong Broncos fan. How you doing? Yeah, going to the Super Bowl, baby. Let's get it. I can't wait to. We finally got a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, and Rowdy's too young to know who John Elway was too. So yeah.
Oh wait, who?
Crazy.
Yeah. John who? Name doesn't ring a bell, man. Sorry. Holla back at me with another name. I know Peyton Manning. John. I never heard of John.
Yeah, he's a nobody.
But listen. Chargers gonna be straight. They probably gonna kick some booty. We just gotta. Justin Herbert's gotta fix his turnovers a little bit. If he can control the ball, not turn the ball over as much, they'll be fine.
Yeah, and obviously, like I said earlier, I think the biggest thing of the biggest ripple effect of this whole trade is obviously what it's going to mean to the Patriots offense losing a great receiver like J.C. Jackson.
Jesus.
I think that's if there's one thing to take away from this podcast, guys, I think that's got to be it. Okay, moving on now, guys. We've covered a lot of the NFL side of things. There's one last thing that I want to bring up, and it might be kind of the most in-depth thing to talk about that is the most divisive and everybody has a different opinion on it. The Deshaun Watson situation. I'm calling it a situation because there's a lot of baggage that goes into it. We can talk about the contract. We can talk about him as a player. We can talk about the legal proceedings, whatever you guys want to talk about here. But dude, what are your thoughts on Deshaun getting all this guaranteed money, going down to Atlanta, signing a big contract, cutting ties with the Texans? Like what's your take on the whole deal from a football perspective, and then from being the face of a franchise perspective?
This was a big topic when you sent this over. I was like, oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, it's like it's such a crazy situation, and the Browns have obviously went all in. $230 million guaranteed. I know the first year he's only making $1 million.
Yeah.
And I know that was a big topic of conversation at their introductory presser today that they did. Which he had some funny. There were some funny tweets out there from things that got pulled from the press conference, so you have to check those out. It's pretty good. But they gave up a lot. And he's a great player. He's still young. He's been out of the game for a while though. But he's probably still in really great shape. But getting back in football shape, it's not easy to do, but so we'll see. Defenses have changed. it is the Browns too. I feel like they are just destined to have talent and never actually do anything with it.
Yeah.
But it's a weird situation because you just don't know. He's probably going to get suspended. You don't know what.
That's a good point too.
So I know they're just saying that $1 million that they're paying him this season is so they can pay other people, but a lot of people think it's because he's probably going to be suspended for a good chunk of the year. I could definitely see the league coming down with something, but so we'll just have to see what that is. I know they signed Jacoby Brissett, which I know he's just a kind of
just a fill-in, yeah,
journeyman backup quarterback at this point. And I think bringing in Amari Cooper is really good. I think if Watson does play and his talent as a player with Amari Cooper, that could be really fun to watch. It's just kind of up in the air of what happens from the league and if any legal things do come back into play. I can't say I've paid too much attention to the actual like trial and all that stuff. He got, I guess indicted, I think is what it was. But I guess that's still in the air, and you just really you don't know what the future holds with him. So to give him that much guaranteed money and give up that many draft picks is kind of scary.
Yeah, absolutely. For like you said, like for the potential future repercussions, and you think about the magnitude of what he was accused of, and you think, God, I really hope that there's not more stuff that's in the pipeline that might arise later. All it would take is one extra person to come up, and that would be a mid-season. It could cause problems for him too. But definitely, like you said, it's still a young player going to an organization, the Browns. I did misspeak. I did say Atlanta. I think he was rumored to go to Atlanta for a little while. That they were one of the teams in the mix for him. But I think as far as replacing Baker Mayfield with him, instantly makes him a better team, provided he is on the field for a good chunk of the games this season. Because Baker, I think at this point, I've seen enough of Baker to know that he's not it. I don't have faith in him as a quarterback. He might put together a good season at some point. He might make it to the Pro Bowl again, but I don't think he's a franchise first overall draft pick worthy player. Filthiest Canadian, can I get your take on the Deshaun Watson situation, the contract with the Browns, and being the new face of the franchise over there?
Well, I can't go back on what I already said. There's 3 organizations in the NFL where you're going to end your career. One's going to be the Browns, 2's going to be the Dolphins, and 3's going to be the Jets.
Yeah.
I think there's a whole lot of legal issues that are going to happen with him. It's going to be a distraction to the team. I think the NFL is going to suspend him for, I don't know, maybe 2 games, maybe 4 games. In best interest of the league, maybe the whole season. I don't know. Yeah. But I honestly was hoping that he would have went to the Cowboys. He's a phenomenal athlete. He was already in Texas. It wasn't that far for him to go. But I wish him nothing but the best as a person. I hope you get his shit straight. Stay out of them bloody massage parlors. Like, oh my God! Like you got millions and millions and millions of dollars. Like, hire yourself a babysitter just so you don't do stupid shit.
Yeah.
But if it all works out, I just don't see the Browns ever doing anything other than doing nothing. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that.
I respect it, and I respect you sticking to your guns there on the top 3 organizations you don't want to go to. I would definitely agree. I was like, Mecha Monsters in the chat, prostitute. Like, honestly, I would say, spend a weekend in Nevada where it's go somewhere where it's legal. If that's something you want to do, don't do it in a state where it's not legal, and don't do it from a profession that's not designed for that. And maybe if you've been turned down, a couple dozen times, maybe stop trying to do it. That's like just this is common sense advice from me, but who knows? Like you said, making $200 plus million, hire a life coach to maybe make some of those decisions for you. Take out the difficult, thought process for him. Kay Harry, what are your thoughts on Deshaun going over there and Deshaun, the whole situation? And one thing, guys, that I kind of maybe to lead the conversation a bit, do you think that he'll be able to take on a face of the franchise type role, or do you think because of how public this whole thing was that maybe he's going to try and be a guy who maybe doesn't do a whole lot of media appearances, or we saw Mike Vick come back from a difficult situation with the Dogs and become a beloved player again in Philly. This is human, so it's a little bit different, but still, like we've seen comeback stories before in the NFL. What are your thoughts on the whole thing, K. Harry?
Yeah, just so you know, I do have to go after this.
Yeah, of course. Okay. No worries.
All right, yes. So I will not get into the legal things of it, but in my eyes, based on the court, he is innocent. All right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at that. People forget Deshaun Watson was a top 5 quarterback before everything happened to him. The Browns are so much better as a result of that. They do need people to join their team. They need more weapons on that offense. Obviously, Chubb is really good. He can definitely make it a little bit easier. But the Texans sucked for a while, and the only reason why they're relevant was because of Watson. So I definitely feel like if he's going to play the full season and they get one more receiver, I really do feel like they have a chance of winning that division. Even with the Bengals, I think they're going to be a lot better team. Watson's insane as a quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. And K. Harry, I know your time is short here, and I know you got that Friday Night Football game coming up. And I'm thinking, guys, before we go on to Rowdy Time to complete the around the horn here, what would your guys' thoughts be on reconvening? Because this is my last NFL topic here. We got the full panel here. I would love to maybe split up at this point, I'm thinking, and maybe do the MLB takes on another day if you guys are available. Because I feel like we've got a pretty good, ending point here on a big topic. So if that's something, I'll DM you guys and see what your availability or interest is in doing that. But I'm thinking we'll just stick with the NFL side of things today and then leave the MLB for another podcast next week.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful. And let's finish off here with Rowdy Time's take on the Deshaun Watson situation, contract, what it means for the Browns, what it means for him. Go for it. Oh, and I gotta recrop here, I think, because we lost K. Harry's visual. So give me 2 seconds, guys, to get this thing going.
Just put a random photo or whatever you gotta do.
I can do that. Okay, beautiful. How do I do that?
Put up that one Super Bowl trophy.
Okay,
or just do that, or put up a photo of Skip Bayless so that you have 2 Baylesses in the bottom.
How do I put up a photo? How do I do this? I'm
You
looking
would just
this.
have to be an image. I'm not sure.
Oh, can I just add a friend to the DM who's not live right now and then just put them in there and then that'll show up? I don't know.
Oh, you're IT guy.
No, you know what? I can still I can leave my logo up there in the one thing, but give me 2 seconds, boys, and I'll get this thing cropped up. And then we'll edit this out for YouTube so it looks like this never happened. So it'll be perfect. All right, let me just open up the window capture.
If you're doing Facebook dating, what'd you do, Cap? Change your relationship status from single to taken or whatever in a relationship. Is that what it is? Is that an option on Facebook?
Yeah.
Cap, that's how I know you're old, bro. You're doing Facebook dating. Jesus.
That's
What'd
right.
you do? What'd you do? DM an old high school sweetheart?
That's where Rowdy Times.
Did you see that she stopped posting photos of her husband and then seen that she she changed her relationship status to single?
Kep is off.
So you hit her up.
Yeah, Kep is off the market now. Yeah, that's the big news, guys. Let's talk about that while I get the windows cropped here. No, I saw that. Kep.
I don't think any woman out there is heartbroken that he got taken off the market.
Hey, he's an eligible bachelor here. Let's stop the Kep slander here. He's not on the Discord call to defend himself right now, guys. Jeez.
Yeah, that's how I like it. That's how I like to keep it when I'm coming at Kep.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's a smart choice.
You know you're old. Like, I'm at the gym. I meet this woman. Well, I'm gonna have to call her a youngin now. She goes, "What's your Snapchat?"
Oh, jeez. Yeah, there's no shot that you'll one of those.
How old was this girl?
I don't have Snapchat either. I have it. My wife made me get a Snapchat to look at her things that she posts. Her and her mom use it all the time, and like she's pretty up with it. I have no clue what Snapchat's about. I don't understand it.
I've started to reach the point of like I talk to like my Snapchat's there, but it's not really like something I depend on.
Oh, so you're a snapper then? Gotcha.
Yeah, he's a snapper, 100%.
I'm not really like I just kind of have it, but like I don't use it. It's just
and same thing. There's a big new thing with the Tic Tac. Everybody's TikTok.
Yeah, they call me the TikTok kid. I hit the.
Nobody has ever called him that. Just chat. Don't let him tell you this. Nobody has ever called Rowdy Time.
Oh really?
The TikTok kid.
Go ask Chew. Everyone in Chew's
There's no way Chew Flocka calls you that. Chew Flocka, if anything, is the TikTok kid. He literally
has a command. Chew literally has a command in his chat. When I type it, it says Rowdy, the TikTok kid.
That's actually hilarious. Chew Flocka is actually the reason that I'm on TikTok too. He's the first guy that I knew who used it really, and obviously knew what he was doing there. And look at this. Now we've got it beautifully cropped, guys. figured
You
it
calling
out.
yourself hip doesn't mean you're hip, Kev. That just shows your age even more. No one says hip.
Yeah, they really don't, Kep. I'm sorry.
Maybe a hip replacement, Kev, but that's about it, bro.
I love it. That's that. Hey, give him at least another 20 years before he has to worry about that. But Rowdy, let's get your opinion on the Deshaun Watson situation. Your take on the situation. Is he a good fit for the Browns? Is it a good fit for the organization? Talk to me.
It's a great fit for the Browns. Obviously for reasons. Most females of the Browns organization are not thrilled at all, which is very understandable with allegations like that.
Yeah.
I listen, dude. If you want to talk about Twitter being on fire, I somehow found myself on like female Browns Twitter. Listen, because they for reasons, scientific reasons. And none of, dude, you want to talk about people being pissed? I have never seen so many, not even just like female like Browns fans, just Browns fans in general. I've never seen a fan base so pissed off about getting a Pro Bowl quarterback. Never in my life. I mean, I get it, but like, damn, they were mad as hell. I was sitting there eating my food, just going through the timeline. I mean, and you would have thought that Brown Stadium would have been burnt down tomorrow. They were pissed. As much shit as they talk about Baker, like, what do you want? Like, what do you honestly want, Browns? I get the allegations, okay? Yeah. But listen, there's shady shit going on, I feel like, low-key. All I'm saying is, if the NFL even had a speck of thought that even that case was real, they would put his ass on the exempt list, and he wouldn't have got paid a dime last year. You know what they didn't do? They didn't put him on the exempt list at all. I am not saying that he is innocent at all, but there's definitely something else that's going on there. Because you even have a speck of evidence that he did something. Why not put him on the exempt list, Goodell? Oh, shit.
I got to recrop it here, boys, but I feel like it was worth it to get Big Kep on here. So I'm going to have to recrop real quick.
Jesus, you got Kep. All right, I got to make this quick, and then I got to go.
Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah.
Listen, so, I mean, there's some shady stuff going on. I think the Texans owner was mad that Watson was leaving, right? And possibly some shady shit is going to happen. I'm going to be honest. Because you think about it, the NFL always knows when their players have done some shit, right? Ray Rice did some shit. They instantly knew. They literally like banned him from the NFL before the footage was even released to the public. They know when shit going down, man. So the fact that he wasn't even put on the exempt list, there's some shady shit going down in the NFL. I listen.
You know what?
He very well could be, he very well could have done it. But I'm just saying there's some shady shit that's going on there, and I don't think anyone's ever going to really know the full story. As far as if he actually gets to play, Browns damn fucking stacked as hell over there. And Odell said he might come back with Watson being the quarterback. So they got Odell back and they got Cooper. Oh, they about it. Listen, Watson finally going to have an O-line, a team that got some receivers. He going to be cooking if he get a chance to play, which I think he will. Guaranteed money, whatever.
Remember, though, who blew out his knee at the end of the season?
Yeah. I mean, true. But, I mean, like, even if he can just come back to some, like, because he's not having to be, like, that number one guy or anything like that. And Jarvis might possibly come back as well. So, I mean, you don't really know what's going to happen here. Jarvis very well could come back, though, the Browns, too. If Odell comes back, then Jarvis comes back. Odell really could just play that third option, and he really wouldn't have to do that much, considering, how healthy he would be on that knee. But
Yeah, that's true. It was like an interesting time in that it could be used for rehab, but obviously like there was a lot of stuff going on off the field, not rehab related, and probably a very stressful year for him, I'm sure, with everything that's going on in the media. We got Kep coming through here. I think, can we get audio on Kep right now? Kep, can you hear us? Probably not. It would be
probably for the best. We can't hear Kep.
Yeah. Honestly, we have to stifle him. We can't give him too big of a platform here. We didn't put him on.
I hit Kep's house with an EMP grenade.
Oh shoot!
Never mind.
He got on.
Damn it.
Kep, talk to us here. Thoughts on?
Listen here, you little furry beach ball with feet.
Oh, here we go. Look, he's got to respond to his Facebook girlfriend.
Rowdy's like the little ugly brother I never had.
Oh, Rowdy, I'm sorry.
All right,
I'm sorry. I'll mute him.
Here we go. Here we go. You just had to bring him in. Murph, I was having such a good time, man.
Nobody in the chat agreed to be on a podcast with Big Kep. Just full disclosure, I have to run by the guest list.
This is not the contract, Kep. This is not what I agreed to.
Yeah, this is not. Cap, talk to me here. Eviscerate Rowdy's take, please, because he was doing it to K Harry all night. It's only right that somebody comes in and shits on him a little bit.
I don't disagree fully with Rowdy.
Yeah.
Which is
Holy
shocking.
shit, we struck gold.
I don't think Landry's going back to. I think Landry's going back to the Dolphins, especially if they trade for Brady. I think Landry chased that ring in a heartbeat, just like anybody else would. Because Brady and the Dolphins, if they get that done, and I know it's just like cannon fodder right now, but if they get that done, and I wouldn't doubt it either. I mean, the Bucks have to retool, right? They've lost, guys retiring left and right. Like they're just not the Bucks. So if they can get if the Dolphins can somehow get Brady, then look out for the Dolphins. I don't care if they haven't played or what. You put that much talent on the field, and they've already got a decent defense. I mean, the Dolphins are I don't think the Patriots. I was listening to you guys earlier about the Patriots. Yeah. The Patriots suck. The Patriots ain't the Patriots anymore. That defense can only carry them so far. I don't think Mac Jones is. I think he's. I think he. What's the kid's name? What's the kid's name in New York? I think they're about the same quarterback.
Oh, like Zach Wilson. Is that the one?
Zach Wilson. I think they're the same exact quarterback. I don't think their ceiling is much higher than what they're at right now.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, but then again, you put Bill Belichick, you put anybody with Bill Belichick, and we'll see. But I don't completely disagree with Rowdy. So and the Browns are always going to Brown. I mean that defense is pretty nasty. That defense is pretty nasty. Yeah. So if Deshaun Watson, I don't see him getting any more than 4 games if he gets any. And if he gets 4, then they have the whole appeals process. He could get 2. But I honestly think that Goodell will take into consideration that he lost the whole year last year, whether it was for whatever reason. And I said it in the chat. You don't have 22 women accuse you of something, and not one of them has a shred enough evidence to convict or prosecute or take it to trial for not a single one. And I'm not saying that 22 women get together and collude and say, hey, let's try and get some money or let's try and do this. But for there not to be one single case where there's not a shred of evidence enough for a judge to say, okay, and you can think about the conspiracies and what Rowdy was saying. That's what I don't agree with.
Yeah.
The shady stuff or the conspiracies or whatever to give a judge money or whatever. So if 22 women, if Bill Cosby can get convicted, anybody can get convicted. Okay.
That's what, and I just actually watched like a 4-part documentary on Bill Cosby, and he's out of prison now too. Bill Cosby's out, another beloved. Well,
we don't claim
figure.
him no more. We don't claim him no more.
Yeah, well, no, that's it. Like, and I'm saying, the NFL, as opposed to other organizations or society in general, we've had these guys come in that are like big household names. We've had Mike Vick, who was an incredibly exciting player, probably the first Madden that I ever played, Madden 2004, with him on the cover. Loved playing with Mike Vick, and then he went through that situation, went to prison, did some unpopular things.
People are more sensitive to dogs than they are humans. So,
you know what? You're probably right about that too. You
can murder people. You can commit vehicular manslaughter while drinking and driving. Other than Henry Ruggs, there's plenty of guys before Henry Ruggs that did what he did, and they didn't even get suspended. So they didn't miss a game. So for Michael Vick, it's even if Michael Vick wouldn't have been an Eagle, I'd still advocate for the fact that the man spent 2.5 years in prison, has given back more money to the ASPCA, and has done more for the inner city youth as far as dogfighting and stuff like that than probably anybody in NFL history. Yeah. For him to come back, earn all of that back, not just be given it because he's Michael Vick, but earn it all back. That speaks volumes on the person that Michael Vick, and we all make mistakes. I made mistakes. I've been locked up a couple of times. We all make mistakes. We all do. And it's just magnified because it was Michael Vick. But anybody else, it probably wouldn't have been as big a deal or as harsh, obviously. But the fact that Michael Vick is the success story that he is, I mean that if you haven't watched those documentaries too, I highly suggest watching them.
Absolutely.
Didn't Michael Vick?
Yeah, go for it.
Didn't Michael Vick, after he got released and he came back to the NFL, didn't he give up, whether it was whole salary or a good portion of it, and he gave it up to the SPCA?
Yeah. That's kind of wild. Like, so he knew that it was like he knew the magnitude, and obviously serving multiple years in prison is a huge, something that the human body is not, and the human mind is not designed for. And I think, I do think, and this could be a whole other podcast, and this is maybe more than you guys wanted to get roped into, but so I won't go into too much detail on it, but the whole nature of the prison system being punitive and not being rehabilitative and trying to actually allow people a chance to become contributing members of society. I think that's like, in a perfect world, that's what the goal of it is. And I know in many cases the prison system is not like that at all. It's more like just lock people up and forget about
it. The recidivism percentage is ridiculous. I mean,
yeah.
Let's be honest. You go to prison, you get out, 80% go back. I mean, that's crazy. That's and you're at fault too. Don't get me wrong. And I look at people that mess up a little differently because I've messed up. I'm not a holier than thou. The only thing I don't get down with is crimes against women, whether it be sexual or physical. And I've had my one domestic dispute when I was 20 years old, and all I did was pick my wife up and throw over my shoulder, and I got hit with something that it doesn't look like it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's somebody out there right now in the MLB community who is hell bent on labeling me a woman beater because I've admitted to what I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
And all you see is assault on a female, and right away you look at, Kep's a woman beater.
Yeah.
And nobody knows the story, and I have no problem telling it because I don't want to see people go through that shit either. Yeah. I have no problem explaining any of my transgressions and my trials or tribulations as I was growing up. I mean, hell, I'm 40 and I'm still learning.
Yeah.
So, but it's not like I have a soft spot or an excuse for people that mess up, but you're not defined by one mistake or one action. Now, if you keep doing it, then obviously it's character. It's not mistakes. It's who you are as a person. So if you keep beating women or you keep sexual harassing women or whatever, then it's different. But I hate all these people. Like, it's so easy for somebody to get on Twitter that's never been in trouble in their life and throw stones and want to strike somebody down for somebody that messes up just because they're a professional athlete. I do think professional athletes should be held to a higher standard, but they're still human. They're still going to fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people got to realize that no matter how perfect you think you are, you ain't.
Yeah. Like are people in the NFL, are players in the NFL even able to like smoke weed, for example, something that's widely legal in many states and in all of Canada? Like there's stuff that's like,
they don't get in trouble now.
Like it's so okay, so that's something they've made a little bit of headway on, but
they literally just changed that rule last year. If I'm not mistaken, they just changed that rule last year. That's why Josh Gordon didn't get suspended again.
Yeah, Jesus, man. Like, talk about the money that Josh Gordon has lost for wanting to take a couple bong tokes. Like, this guy has lost tens of millions of dollars over the course of his career.
There's plenty of players that have done it. Like, Percy Harvin even said, Harvin said that he smoked before every game or something like that.
And Percy Harvin dealt with, my wife has chronic migraines, and I know Percy Harvin had, real bad migraine problems, too, where it was like a constant thing. So who knows if maybe that was his way to try to combat that. I'm sure there's studies going on about the effects of marijuana on that. It's crazy though, like one of the most brutal sports out there, to not allow people a way to relieve pain and relieve stress. It was kind of wild for me, so it's good to see that that's changed. But yeah, it's an interesting thing, and it's like I feel like I kind of had a vision in my mind about how I was going to respond to the whole Deshaun Watson situation, and then listening to a few different opinions on both sides of the story. It's kind of this is an important thing to do, to talk to other people and get other opinions on it, because I feel like now maybe my opinions changed a little bit. I was very much like cut and dry, like 22 allegations don't come out of nowhere, like if there's smoke there's fire kind of thing. I was thinking maybe the nature of it, maybe I and Kep kind of alluded to this too. He said he doesn't think there's a conspiracy of 22 women going out there in a basement somewhere or at a meeting and going out there with this conspiracy to kind of take money from a rich guy. But the one thing I will say, and maybe a panel of four guys on here probably shouldn't even be the ones to go and have this conversation. Maybe I shouldn't be the one to be out here leading it, and I feel kind of weird doing it. I
love women. I love women.
Oh yes, Kep, so, I know. I know.
It sucks for the women and that's why it's hard for women to come forward, because a lot of the times they're not believed. So it's hard for true victims to come forward. And it sucks for women that are out there getting sexually harassed or assaulted, and they haven't come forward, and it sucks. It really does suck. I wish there was harsher penalties for women that did come forward with stuff like this and it not be true. Like you have to and I think they've discussed that, and until it actually happens, you know, there's plenty of college athletes that have had their careers ruined on false allegations. There's NFL players that have had their careers ruined for false allegations. And those women, you know, I don't want, you know, it's not cool to lock women up or punish women or shit like that, but you got to make an example out of these women so it doesn't keep happening.
Yeah, and I'm still torn. I'm not going to say that I'm fully, you know, like in a lot of cases, I'm like, you know, the outcome of the court system, I abide by it. You know, I'm like, if a person has been proven and they've had their day in court and it's been argued by both sides, you know, if there's not enough evidence to lock somebody, and what even is evidence? You have to have video proof. Like, look at Ray Rice. Only reason that Ray Rice was probably given the death penalty in the NFL is because there was a video that he didn't know about that was being recorded in that elevator. You know, if there was maybe one video or one camera going, but obviously it's massage parlors, there's no videos going on behind there when people are taking their clothes off, right? So, you know, that evidence just wasn't going to be there. And I don't even know the nature of the accounts. I don't know whether it was like a, you know, sexual assault versus rape or whatever.
The NFL has to do a better job of policing itself and punishments that fit the crime. Like they weren't even going to do anything to Ray Rice without that video.
Oh yeah,
they knew about that video well before it came out.
Yeah,
and that's the thing too, man. And it looks bad on the NFL. It really does look bad. Now I'm going to continue to watch football because I love football.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm not going to sit here and defend the NFL or Roger Goodell or any entity that tries to cover that shit up.
Yeah, 100%. Like absolutely, and I think, you know, the idea of they would have probably loved if that video had never come out. But I mean, look at TMZ of all people. I think it was TMZ that broke that video. And I got to say this, like, TMZ is the absolute trash, garbage, the worst type of media out there. But man, they've broken a lot of really big, important stories just by having ears and eyes like all over the place. So kind of crazy for a positive thing being unearthed by a sinister, nasty news organization. But, you know, chat's got their own opinions on it, too, and I respect it. But definitely something to think about, something that we might, you know, we never will know the true thing about it, and that's just how it is. You know, it's impossible unless you're there, unless you're one of the people, you're not going to know what's real. So those women and Deshaun Watson will be the only ones to kind of know the story there. But I appreciate you guys all sharing on a sensitive topic and, you know, chiming in and giving me a variety of opinions to kind of educate myself on, you know, what my opinion should be. And I'm still up in the air. I'm still going to be thinking about it for a while. But yeah, do you guys think, maybe one final thing to kind of wrap up, do you guys think that like you'll be seeing Deshaun Watson in advertisements at any time soon? Do you think you're going to see him in like Nike campaigns, or is he going to be, for the length of this contract and his time in the NFL, is he going to be kind of one of those guys who has to fade to the shadows? We'll go around the horn here too.
The worst sentence is the sentence of public opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple as that. Whether you did anything or not, if the public, it's gonna be split. You're gonna have guys that are Clemson fans, that were Texans fans, that are now Browns fans, and you're gonna have some blowback. Like there were Eagles fans that didn't want Michael Vick, and they didn't re-up their season tickets and have stayed away from the team since. And I applaud people with that type of conviction.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be mixed. But you're not gonna see Nike unless it benefits Nike.
Yeah.
You know, the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. Like they stayed away from Colin Kaepernick till they saw it benefit them. And that's just how the world works anyway. You're not gonna put yourself out there. You're not gonna put yourself on a chopping block unless it benefits you. Yeah. And then you don't care about the blowback because you're making money. So you know, the money is what makes this world go round, and a lot of corporations, a lot of people don't care what they have to do to get it. So
yeah, and looking at the Tiger Woods documentary that came out last year, I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch that. I can't even remember if it was an HBO one or what it was. It was a two-parter, and seeing one of the most marketable athletes of all time, and again, you know, being kind of, you know, having to go through a lot of adversity, being a black man playing a predominantly white sport, a very backwards sport in some ways with like and then seeing them all, you know, they owned them and then they threw them away too, you know. Like Kev said, these athletes are tools to companies. They're not, you know, they're not married to these guys.
And you know, I'm passionate about a lot of sensitive subjects because a lot of sensitive subjects aren't talked about enough.
Yeah.
And being a middle-aged white man in America, I'm looking at what Agent of Funk just said. If Roethlisberger was a black man, I guarantee it would have been different. And that is the definition of white privilege.
Yeah.
Some of y'all may not think it exists.
Yeah.
But it does.
Hey, you know what? I missed that message, Adrian Funk, but you're 100% right, and that's why the whole, the court system and you can look at statistics, and it is not balanced and it's not fair in a lot of ways, and it definitely something to think about too. Like Watson got a much harsher penalty than Ben Roethlisberger did for similar allegations, and maybe allegations that were actually probably proven, I think, in Ben Roethlisberger's case. So definitely something to think about there. Food for thought. Appreciate you sharing that. RowdyTime, do you think there's ever going to be a time where parents are going out to Christmas buying their kids Deshaun Watson jerseys? Like, do you think he's going to be a marketable face for the NFL going forward?
As a man who lives in South Carolina and lives 20 minutes from Clemson, I tell you this right now. These motherfuckers they gonna live and die by Deshaun Watson. I can promise you that right now. So at least where I live, hell yeah. I still see Watson jerseys everywhere.
Yeah.
No one's really up in arms about it. Like everyone's like, oh hell yeah, he's back. Like, but that's because what he did for Clemson and what he did for their program. So like, I mean, it's different where I live. I mean, but like, I don't know, man. It's so weird. You think about so many athletes who have done something, or there's been allegations of something, and hell, Kobe had an allegation when he was playing in the NBA that some woman came in, some woman literally went in his hotel room, was just like a cleaner or something like that, and accused him of him touching her. And then there was another time where he actually did cheat on his wife.
Yeah.
But this allegation was way different. Kobe's career was almost ended. Kobe almost went to fucking jail. Yeah. And his career was almost over with, and then it came out that it wasn't true, and everyone a lot of times forget about that. And a lot of people still bring it up to this day when talking about Kobe.
Yeah.
I know plenty of people who bring it up, and it's like Kobe's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because of that allegation. So I mean, people who still stand by the allegations and stuff like that. Like I get it. I fully and I was like, I said, I don't blame any Browns fans, especially female Brown fans who are upset that he got traded to the team. I fully understand it, especially because a lot of them have had, have went through a situation like this. It's very hard to come out and talk about it. I've talked to, I know plenty of girls myself that I went to high school with who have went through that situation, and it's hard for them to come out and talk about it because there are so many girls who, put out false allegations, and then a lot of times people just don't even believe them to begin with. So, I mean, it's a very touchy subject. A lot of times people don't want to talk about it. But like I say, man, there's certain stuff that needs to be talked about in sports, and and there's stuff that needs to be talked about more, like Kep says. And it's the topics that are uncomfortable to talk about are probably the ones we need to talk about more than the ones that are always comfortable to talk about. And it's you don't want to talk about it, but you got to at some extent, because at some point we got to tackle these issues. Because if we don't, then we get to the point to where we're at right now, where it blows when it reaches that boiling point, all hell breaks loose, because we wanted to push it under the rug for 20, 30 something years, and no one wanted to talk about it. And then when it finally boils up to the top and it blows up, it fucking blows up, and then it's just what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, and I gotta say, man, already two panelists in here, and we're gonna go around the horn and get Dude and Filthiest Canadian's thoughts on it as well. But already I feel like just we do have to talk about these things, and getting the more opinions that you can get on it. There might be some that you completely wholeheartedly disagree with. There might indeed be wrong opinions out there too in some cases, but I think it doesn't hurt to kind of get more people to chime in and kind of expand your thinking on it a little bit. Dude, do you think Deshaun Watson, like, is there any path to him becoming, are you going to see him in NFL network commercials? Are you going to see him, like, what do you think from marketability standpoint? Like, what does this whole thing mean for him going forward?
I mean, he definitely has got a lot of work to do to build up his brand. Similar to like kept bringing up Michael Vick's situation, and he's got to build up that brand again, get that little wins at a time. You got to get that respect back from maybe some people that have lost respect for him, and it's kind of time is kind of the biggest thing. He's just got to go out and ball, go out and do his job, and I think things obviously will come his way as far as people will still buy his jersey. I've already seen pictures on Twitter of people the day he signed and even today buying his Browns jersey. So I think that might have some impact, obviously, on some of the Browns fans, but I think in general he's just got to build back his brand. Obviously people won't cheer for him like they were before, but I don't know. I think he's just got to go out and do what he's meant to do. And
yeah, he can't.
All out,
Yeah, you can't control public opinion. Nobody can control public opinion to a big degree, but you can control your play on the football field. So it's like, you could drive yourself crazy trying to control stuff that's out of your power. But that his game is the only thing that's going to be able to speak for him at this point for a while until he does build back a little bit of that trust. Filthiest Canadian, what about you? What do you think? I mean, I'm not even going to talk about the legacy of Deshaun Watson because he's a young man. He's still a very young player with a bright future on the gridiron ahead of him. What are your thoughts, Filthiest?
This is like the biggest loaded question. There's what does society see as being ethical, right? Mm-hmm. For every man that has a daughter, nobody wants that to happen to their daughter, or mm-hmm. Be even around that or talk about it. I played ball at a high level for 13 seasons. I saw a lot of shit. When mm-hmm. I played ball, we didn't have phones with cameras on them. Mm-hmm. There's so many things that athletes are subjected to that we don't ask for. Mm-hmm. But the bigger thing that I think we need to look at as sports fans, as enthusiasts, is in the NFL, even if you go that there is 100 athletes per team, and I'm talking roster and practice roster, okay?
Yeah.
So if there's 32,000 athletes, 3,200.
3,200,
if there's 3,200 athletes in a league, right? Why is there so many allegations happening all the time? Whether it being drunk driving, assault and battery, spousal abuse, child abuse, rape allegations, sexual abuse allegations. Like, the league itself needs to, I'm going to say, do what the UFC does. UFC has boot camps on how to conduct yourself. And I know that they try and work with rookies, but like, imagine being 18, 19, 20 some years old. Mm-hmm. You're in college, you're skipping your senior year, so you're going to be like, 22 years old in college?
Yeah. You're
going to go enter the draft, you're going to be 23, 24 years old, and you got millions of dollars? Like, honest to God, like, they need to turn the salaries way down, make these people humble again. Like, if you look at, like, I was actually personal friends with Deacon Jones. He got involved with the Calgary Stampeders when I was living in Calgary. We were at the same gym. And, Deacon Jones told me that people who are getting signing bonuses now is more than what he made in his career. Oh, and we're talking about Deacon Jones, the guy
Hall
that
of Famer.
made, what D linemen are today. And you look at privilege today, the whole thing's unfortunate. I for the love of God, I hope that all these allegations are false and everything else. Yeah. So, but like, for the organization, it's a risky move. Yeah. I want, like I already said, for Watson, I want nothing but the best for the guy. We all make mistakes, but 22 mistakes? Come on. Yeah. That just seems a little bit much. Like Kep said, this is something that needs to be talked about more. It's about educating children. Mm-hmm. Like, I coach ball, right? It's about teaching the kids at a young age. Like, even when you're coaching at a high school level, mm-hmm. girls in high school throw themselves at the guys in high school that are playing ball. They want to wear the jacket. It starts there. Now what happens when you go to the college level? I never made pro. I had my chance at pro. I played 13 years of semi-pro. My jersey's back there, show it.
Yeah.
But, like, we have women after games throwing themselves. Now imagine being at this level at the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you just have to conduct yourself at a different level. Whether Watson can come back from this, let's be honest. The NFL, what's the biggest thing, Murph, from the NFL and CFL? Corporate sponsorship, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Now look at the NFL. How are corporate sponsors gonna get on board with him now? Like, how many women's luncheons do the Browns mm-hmm. deal with where they have their star athlete go speak at, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, to me, there's more damage control than anything. You know, I'm not one to cast a stone at anybody, but it's an uphill battle.
For sure. It's not going to be an easy thing. It's not going to go away overnight. And it's, you know, like you said, like it's a young man, a very young man, guy who's younger than me, made exponentially more money than me, thrust into a situation where he's in the public eye. You know, none of us can really relate to that on that level. Like you said, you can probably relate to it at the high school, the collegiate levels. Like, you know, I know Kep was an athlete as well. Like, there's some things we're exposed to, and then we just don't know how much more intense that gets when you get to that pinnacle. You know, I was privileged enough to talk to Darrington Evans, and he seems to have a really good, really mature head on his shoulders as a young man in the NFL. He seems to be doing things the right way. You know, he's, you know, maybe due to his upbringing, due to like his experience, you know, he seems to have those tools already. But, you know, to take 3,200 people, like you said, filthiest Canadian, and expect them to all have that same skill set and tools, how to navigate life in the proper way, we can't take that for granted. You know, you take a 3,200 person sample size out of any profession, and I'm sure you're going to be able to dig up some dirt on at least a couple of those people in there if you look hard enough for it. So, man, I really appreciate you guys coming through. I didn't know what turn it would take, but I really appreciate you guys all chiming in, sharing on a very difficult subject, and Big Kep for hopping on impromptu into the podcast, man. You guys absolutely crushed it. Much love to you guys, man. Big Kep, RowdyTime, dude.
No, you're not signing off like this.
Not signing off like this?
We need Rowdy and Kep to get into it about anything and anything. Come on, guys, let's go.
Oh, man, you know what? You might be right about that. He already called it. What did you call him, Kep? What was the name?
I'm not going to teach this old timer another lesson, all right?
Hey,
I'm going to give the old timer a break.
I'll talk to Rowdy Sunday morning after his grandma makes me pancakes.
Oh, damn. And there we go.
She makes, listen, she makes biscuits and gravy. She makes biscuits and gravy for your fat ass, all right? Because you know
hey. Rowdy.
Oh,
whatever.
He called us fat earlier. I had to snap back. He called us all fat earlier. I'm sticking up for us, man. He called us all fat earlier.
No. K. Harry called me fat.
Man, I
don't fat shame nobody. I'm athletically thick. All right.
Hey, that's right.
What in the hell? When did you come up with that's a new one?
That's been my thing for a long. I'm athletically thick.
The dad bod is the new six-pack, guys. So honestly, I'm feeling comfortable in my own skin right now. You guys are all looking handsome as hell. You guys, I feel like Fendler whenever I call somebody handsome. Fendler's the king of calling people handsome, but I really do mean it. Man, that was a freaking blast.
Dad bods are in. Rowdy, you got to borrow somebody's kid and go to Walmart or something.
Dude, I already look like a fucking dad. I actually shaved my beard one summer because some girl, I was at my friend's like neighborhood pool. Some little girl walks up to me. She's like, "Daddy," and I was like, "Oh hell no!" And I shaved my beard after.
Oh,
I was not doing that.
Oh my God, Rowdy! I gotta find out. You gotta put a sub goal to shave your face, man. I gotta see a picture of you clean shaven. Can I scroll back far enough on your Twitter feed to find a clean shaven Rowdy picture?
That photo doesn't exist on the Twitter. That photo doesn't exist.
I'm gonna get somebody with some Photoshop skill to try and
no, dude. I look like
fucking
Russell. You know Russell from Up. That's what I look like when I shave, or like Josh Peck. Like, I look like fat Josh Peck, no, not skinny Josh Peck. Like, fat Josh Peck, I look like him when I shave. And when I was a kid, I looked really Asian for some reason. So, like, because I was so damn fat, my face was just, like sucked up to my eyes. So I look like Russell when I was little.
You look like that fat Asian kid that's looking at each cookie.
Yeah, I know the meme.
Or like the peanut butter jelly kid. Like that kid, I look like him, too.
Oh, my God.
Going to hell.
This is incredible, guys. Sports talk at its finest, boys.
A young Andy Milanakis, that's what he is.
Yo, don't compare me to that. Don't compare me to fucking him, bro. Chill. Hold on.
I got 3 people I need to Google as soon as the stream is over. But boys, I appreciate we started out. We were planning on doing an NFL and MLB, and then the NFL just, talk about around the clock content. The NFL does a good job of staying relevant year round, even if it's not for the right reasons. So I was glad to do this with you guys, and I'll definitely hit you guys up in DMs about some potential.
This is your first one since the one we did about MLB, right?
It is, and a lot's happened since then.
And since then, the Phillies have signed Schwarber and Castellanos.
Yeah, exactly. I had a Phillies question geared up here that I added because K. Harry was bitching about me not having any Phillies questions off the rip. So for the next one,
Celtics fan. Fuck him.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, no, I know. K Harry, he's not here to defend himself. He's playing Friday Night Football right now. He's probably getting flooded for all we know. But boys, appreciate it, man. What a blessing to talk to all you guys and K Harry as well. We'll do this again sometime, man. Thanks so much for giving up 2 hours of your Friday night. Now go enjoy whatever else you got planned, man. Appreciate you.